Hello, thank you for joining with me. We are in A Course in Miracles workbook for students. We are on lesson 157 in part 1 of the workbook. Into His presence would I enter now. This is a day of silence and of trust. It is a special time of promise in your calendar of days. It is a time heaven has set apart to shine upon and cast a timeless light upon this day when echoes of eternity are heard. This day is holy, for it ushers in a new experience, a different kind of feeling and awareness. You have spent long days and nights in celebrating death. Today you learn to feel the joy of life. This is another crucial turning point in the curriculum. Footnote 286. A previous turning point was indicated in lesson 122. Begin in hopefulness, for we have reached the turning point at which the road becomes easier, and that's lesson 122. We add a new dimension now, a fresh experience which sheds a light on all that we have learned already and prepares us for what we have yet to learn. It brings us to the door where learning ceases and we catch a glimpse of what lies past, the highest reaches it can possibly attain. It leaves us here an instant and we go beyond it, sure of our direction and our only goal. Footnote 287. Our goal for meditation today is to go past the highest reaches learning can possibly attain. This means that our goal is to experience knowledge, which is the same as saying that our goal is to have a direct experience of oneness with God. This is what the early part of the text calls revelation and what is commonly called mystical experience. Today it will be given you to feel a touch of heaven, though you will return to paths of learning. Now you have come far enough along the way to alter time sufficiently to rise above its laws and walk into eternity a while. This you will learn to do increasingly as every lesson faithfully rehearsed brings you more swiftly to this holy door and leaves you for a moment to yourself. He will direct your practicing today, for what you ask for is now what He wills. And having joined your will with His this day, what you are asking must be given you. Nothing is needed but today's idea to light your mind and let it rest in still anticipation and in quiet joy, wherein you quickly leave the world behind. Footnote 288. The instructions for today's meditation assume that you have gained proficiency in the workbook's methods of meditation, going inward and connecting. All you are told is to repeat the idea, to let today's idea light your mind, and then rest in a state of still anticipation in which the only thing that fills your mind is what lesson 94 calls silent expectancy. In this state, be open to receive more specific direction from your true self. He will direct your practicing. From this day forth, your ministry takes on a genuine devotion and a glow that travels from your fingertips to those you touch and blesses those you look upon. A vision reaches everyone you meet and everyone you think of or who thinks of you. For your experience today will so transform your mind that it becomes the touchstone for the holy thoughts of God. Your body will be sanctified today, its only purpose being now to bring the vision of what you experience this day to light the world. We cannot give experience like this directly, yet it leaves a vision in our eyes which we can offer everyone, that he may come the sooner to the same experience in which the world is quietly forgot and heaven is remembered for a while. As this experience increases and all goals but this become of little worth, the world to which you will return becomes a little closer to the end of time, a little more like heaven in its ways, a little nearer its deliverance. And you who bring it light will come to see the light more sure, the vision more distinct. The time will come when you will not return in the same form in which you now appear, for you will have no need of it. Yet now it has a purpose and will serve it well. Today you will embark upon a course you have not dreamed of. But the Holy One, footnote 289, the Old Testament often refers to God as the Holy One of Israel. In the Gospels, Jesus is referred to by an unclean spirit as the Holy One of God. See Mark 1:24 and Luke 4:34. Here, the Holy One is the Holy Spirit. But the Holy One, the giver of the happy dreams of life, translator of perception into truth, the holy guide to heaven given you, has dreamed for you this journey which you make and start today with the experience this day holds out to you to be your own. Into Christ's presence you will now enter. You will enter now, serenely unaware of everything except his shining face and perfect love. The vision of his face will stay with you, but there will be an instant which transcends all vision, even this, the holiest. This you will never teach, for you attained it not through learning. Yet the vision speaks of your remembrance of what you knew that instant and will surely know again. And I just want to make sure. Yes, that's lesson 157. Into his presence would I enter now. I'm going to go ahead and read Robert Perry and Alan Watson's commentary. I'm almost inspired to do another meditation specifically for this lesson, but even though in the beginning it said that they would all follow the same. Anyway, I'll sit with that, and I may do a separate meditation for this. Lesson 157. If not, there's plenty of 15-minute meditations there to use, or longer. Double them up, whatever works for you. Or there's so many wonderful meditations out there. Practice instructions to usher in our first direct experience of heaven. This is the purpose of the lesson. To usher in our first direct experience of heaven, this is a holy day, a crucial turning point in the curriculum, the beginning of a new journey. Today will launch your ministry. Your only purpose now will be to bring to the world the vision that reflects what you experience today. And you will be given power to touch everyone with that vision. So at least 5 minutes, ideally 30 or more, in the morning and in the evening, approach this practice with a sense of sanctity. For you are attempting to pass beyond the veil of the world and walk into heaven. Repeat the idea. You may want to repeat it over and over again and let it bring you into that deep place in your mind, the place of stillness and rest. Then wait there in still anticipation and in quiet joy for the experience promised you. Trust that yourself will carry you to where you need to go. He will lift your mind to the highest reaches of perception, to the holiest vision possible. Here at the door where learning ceases, you will pause for a moment and then walk through that doorway into eternity. You will pass beyond all form and briefly enter heaven. Today is meant to be your first experience of what the text calls revelation, direct union with God and with yourself. Yet, if it happens, and tomorrow's lesson will seem to acknowledge the obvious fact that it may not, it will not be your last. You will come into this experience increasingly. Each time will bring both you and the world closer to the day when this experience will be yours for all eternity. Hourly remembrance, 1 or 2 minutes as the hour strikes. Reduce if circumstances do not permit. Repeat the idea and spend a quiet moment with it, seeking to enter into the presence of yourself. Then thank God for His gifts to you in the previous hour, and let His voice tell you what He wants you to do in the next hour. Commentary by Alan Watson. Today I'd like to share some thoughts about experience and vision, thoughts based mainly on Lesson 157, but with some references to Lesson 158 also. This lesson introduces a series of lessons designed to lead us into the holy instant, which is a major goal of the workbook. From this point on, every lesson, faithfully rehearsed, brings you more swiftly to this holy place. The Course talks here of both an experience and of a vision which results from the experience. The holy instant contains a moment of knowledge, something beyond all perception, from which we return with the vision of Christ in our minds, which we can offer to everyone. The experience spoken of here is simply entering into the presence of God. It is a different kind of feeling and awareness in which we learn to feel the joy of life. It is called elsewhere the holy instant. Lesson 157 calls it a touch of heaven, and a moment in which we are left to ourself. It is an instant in which the world is quietly forgot and heaven is remembered for a while. We leave time for a moment and walk into eternity. It is not something we do ourselves. The Holy Spirit, the giver of the happy dreams of life and translator of perception into truth, will lead us. The vision spoken of is the result of the experience. This is not a vision, something that is seen, but a vision, a way of seeing. We are not talking of some trance state, some appearance within our minds of mystical thoughts, mystical sights. We are talking about a different way of seeing the world, a different mechanism of sight, something other than the physical senses. Eastern religion might talk about the opening of the third eye to indicate the same sort of thing. In experiencing the holy instant, we have awakened a different way of seeing. That new sort of vision does not disappear when we come back to the world, so to speak. It is only a figure of speech to say we come back. We never left, or perhaps better, since heaven is what is real, and this world is the illusion, we never came back here at all. What comes back with us into the dream is the remembrance of God and heaven, the remembrance of what we saw in that holy instant. We continue to see glimpses of it beyond the sight of the world, seeing the real world beyond the world, and beyond that, heaven. Each apparently separate holy instant we experience strengthens this new vision, this new mechanism of seeing. This is the purpose of the workbook's recommendations for daily morning and evening periods of meditation. They are practice sessions, exercises to develop our new vision. We are meant, of course, to exercise this vision constantly during the day, to have repeated holy instants all day long. If we compare this to learning a language, the meditation sessions are like language labs and grammar studies. The concentrated language exercises are not an end in themselves, but are meant to prepare us and improve our speech and understanding as we go out and actually use the language. Likewise, meditation is not an end in itself. It is an exercise to strengthen spiritual vision. But the purpose is to go out into daily life and begin using that new vision as often as possible. Lesson 157 says we cannot give experience like this directly, yet it leaves a vision in our eyes which we can offer everyone. I can't give you a holy instant directly. I can tell you about it, but you have to do the work yourself and have the experience yourself. What I can give you or offer to you is the new vision, the new way of seeing the world. The vision we can all teach as fledgling teachers of God is that of forgiveness and love within the world. I can teach you that it is possible to see the invisible beyond the visible, to see the undimmed truth behind the clouds of doubt, fear, and defense. I can teach you to see no one as a body. Greet him as the Son of God he is. Greet him as the Son of God he is, acknowledging that he is one with you in holiness. By seeing you without guilt, I teach you that seeing without guilt is possible. And in willingness to practice the vision, willingness to ask to be shown a different way of seeing, the experience of the holy instant comes. Thank you so much for joining with me. We are in Lesson 157. Into his presence I would enter now.